So I'm Jeff Morgan. I'm back here again with Taran Champagne. And Taran, you want to talk a little bit about the OAG, is that right?
Yeah, let's do it. So the Office of the Attorney General, as everybody knows, is the Title 40 agency in the state of Texas, or basically the collectors of child support. And they, as the Attorney General has bragged, they are the best at collecting child support. They are going to squeeze you dry, and they're going to get whatever they can from you. And I think that segs pretty well into what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah, so go ahead. Keep on going.
So, the Office of the Attorney General, as some of you may know, they want to maximize Title 40 funds so that they can get more money for the state.
And that's actually in the Texas Family Code, isn't it? 201.107C, that the judge or the Title 4 agency is able to do basically anything.
Yeah, so it says shall, which means must.
Must, yes, that's the mandatory shall.
So, now funnily enough, that shall maximize Title 40 funds available. They never make both parents pay child support, which really is truly the only way to maximize Title 40 funds. But they never do that one. But anyways, so they want to poke their nose into your business because once you've gone through the family court system, you truly don't own your children. They become wards of the state. And they believe they have the power to act in the best interest of your children, which means extracting resources from one parent and giving them to the other.
Right.
So what this represents is every 3 years, the Office of the Attorney General can do a modification.
That's the never-ending lawsuit.
The never-ending lawsuit. You are guilty until fully extracted from.
You're never really innocent.
Yeah, you're never innocent. But so every 3 years, if there's a change in your if your pay 20% or more, or if it would increase or decrease, but we all know they never do the decrease. Your child support payments by, I believe, like $100 a month. Those are the kind of things that the Office of the Attorney General is going to go after. Now, one of the things I didn't realize until this past spring, or because no attorney's ever going to tell you this. They're not going to lead you down the road. But somebody somewhere along the way actually has to sign up for Office of the Attorney General services.
Right.
So what we're going to talk about tonight is not going to eliminate child support, but what it's going to do is it's going to get the Office of the Attorney General off of your back.
Everybody is very, very interested to hear how you do this.
Once again, it does not get rid of child support. Child support, that's a whole nother fight you're going to have to do. But what this does is it prevents the Office of the Attorney General from stepping in until the other party figures out what you're doing.
Right.
What it does is it stops them from stepping in and basically putting you under review and things like that. So, what does the Office of the Attorney General, what services do they offer? They offer child support collection, debt collection for arrears. Those are kind of the main services. They also offer like establishing paternity and stuff like that. But that's not the sexy stuff they like to talk about.
Right.
They want to talk about that sweet, sweet dollar bill. So anyways, whenever somebody gets a child support order established, you have to sign up for Office of the Attorney General services. You fill out a sheet of paper that basically says, I'm signing up for the Office of the Attorney General. Now, this is where we go, and we just talked about public information requests. Before you start this process, what you need to do is you need to contact the Office of the Attorney General through a public information request, and you need to ask for all the files in your case file. You don't want to ask for just, so you want to know their call logs, you want to know who they're talking to, and any sort of forms you've filled out, basically. Interestingly enough, the Office of the Attorney General actually has two systems that they track. One for information from the public. So this is where you're calling the Office of the Attorney General and you're like, hey, what are you guys doing? I'm not an absent parent. Or any sort of stuff like that when you have your mediation, when they set those up. And then there's actually an internal tracking system, which according to them, and thus far is confidential and they don't have to provide it. Hopefully one day somebody out there will figure out the magic words to crack that, because I'd love to know what notes they're recording on me in their system. But so what you want to do is you want to request from the Office of the Attorney General all the information related to your case file. Now, if you're like me, when you first went through this process, my attorney told me I had to fill out this paperwork and send it off to the Office of the Attorney General. And what this did is it established my case with the Office of the Attorney General and opened up my record with them. So when I got the information back, excuse me, it's late, it's been a long day.
Yeah.
Especially for you.
Yeah.
But when I got that information back, I found out that I had applied for those Office of the Attorney General services. So what I did was I called the Office of the Attorney General and I wanted to establish what services I was receiving. So I asked them, a couple questions. You have to remember that Title 4D is not designed to benefit the child. It's designed to benefit the state. A lot of this arose out of I believe the late 70s, where individuals were abandoning their responsibility to the child, which I'm totally against. But so they were abandoning their responsibility to the child. The predominantly mothers were starting to use social welfare services like TANF, or Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, WIC, SNAP benefits, welfare, and things like that. And the state didn't want to be on the hook for the bill. So they designed the Title 4D system so that they could recover these funds. So what you're going to do is when you call the Office of the Attorney General, you need to establish a couple things. One, you're not in any arrearages, because they will not want to let go if you're in arrearages, because they receive incentive payments for arrearages. So you've already established that you're not in arrearages. You also want to establish that your kids aren't receiving any social support services. Like I mentioned, SNAP, WIC, TANF, all those kind of things. So make certain that they're not receiving them. And then at that point, the Office of the Attorney General, and then ask them very specifically, what services are you providing to me? If they're not providing you services, then what you need to do is you need to ask them, you need to tell them that you wish to terminate their services. Now they're going to hem and haw naturally, like, oh, well, you need us for this, you need us for that. But the truth is, and we all know this, they only make things worse. Basically, it's a free attorney for, whoever your ex-partner is, so that they can use and abuse against you. So you can ask for them to cancel your case. And like I said, it won't get rid of your child support, but what it does is it prevents them from going around and poking their nose in your business. So what they're going to do is, after you've made it very clear that you don't want them in your business, they're going to send you a form via email. You fill out that form and then send it off to them, mail it off to them. So once you've sent the form off, what you need to do is you need to follow up with them. Just like they harass you for anything, just like attorneys harass you for whatever, discovery, production, whatever, you need to harass the Office of the Attorney General. And all you need to do is just follow up and say, hey, I want to make certain you got my letter. Send it certified mail so you can make certain. And then just keep asking them, when is this going to be processed? When is this going to be processed? When is this going to be processed? And then once you have that information that it's been processed, they no longer can enter your case. And then a little funny note for those of you who just want to just make it annoying. They will charge a $3 processing fee per month to process your payment. So say you are paying $250 a month to your ex-partner, now they will only receive $247. So now, just poke a little bit in there. But now you remove the Office of the Attorney General. Key things to keep in mind with this, though. Your other partner can always fill out a request for the Office of the Attorney General to begin services. So it doesn't get rid of it permanently. They can always ask. But I think this would be a wonderful test case for anybody who this happens to oppose the Office of the Attorney General and note to them that you have no desire for their services. So get off my lawn and stop playing your music so loud.
So this would be something that you're saying, just go ahead and oppose it, and then what would you have to do with that? Litigate afterwards?
I'm assuming.
Okay.
But imagine for a second, we spoke about this before. Once again, everybody stands up and says, I'm Spartacus. So people need to go out there. They need to start contacting. They need to get their case filed. So you know what the Office of the Attorney General has been doing. And then you need to tell them,
right,
I no longer want your services.
See, it's very interesting that you talk about everybody doing this. I don't know if you recall, but 4 years ago when we had the meeting with the Attorney General down in Austin, what happened was when I put out that one video about call Michelle Smith, email Michelle Smith, evidently from what I've heard, there were a number of people that
I was one of them.
And it was kind of like they weren't expecting that.
Yeah.
When, one person doing something, they can blow you off. But if we're all doing things together, it's hard to blow you off because at the very least, you've got one person that has to answer all of these calls all the time, or maybe 2 or 3 people. And finally, it was just like we were getting, my understanding was that they were getting so many calls or so many inquiries that they decided they had to do something.
Yeah, remember, you just started off as a guy with a camera in your backyard, and now you've traveled all across the country speaking about this. Every person, if people start doing this and say, I refuse Office of the Attorney General services, something's going to happen.
Right. So, and I mean, basically, you're talking about there's 1.5 million children almost in these types of arrangements. So there's a whole lot of parents out there that could actually do something like this.
Taran Champagne doing it isn't going to accomplish much.
Right.
I'm one guy.
Right. But 3,000 people.
Yeah, if 3,000 people did it, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
If anything, we learned this past legislative session, and it happened the legislative session before, they're pretty mad about, the JJFI is mad about the federal removal process. They are furious. Now imagine if we started doing things like this to let the Office of the Attorney General know we are on to their game.
Right.
And we go out there and we tell them we don't want their services anymore.
Yeah.
Yes, they're the Title 40 agency, but I don't need them. I don't want them.
Yeah.
You're not going to get off your child support, but you're going to send a very clear message that what they're doing is not acceptable. And then, like I said, if they try and put you back on those services, oppose them. Refuse. Tell them you don't want it.
Yeah.
And I'm certain that whoever does that will have an army backing them.
Yeah. So you're in the process right now, or
So I've actually completed it. So
you completed it.
I've completed the Office of the Attorney General. I'm still paying child support, but they're no longer able to come in and independently audit me or, do their child support review just to make certain everything's going great.
Well, congratulations! I did not know that actually took place.
Yeah,
I knew it was a process, and
so it took about a month. Like I said earlier, you need to follow up with them because it's real easy that we forgot.
So you're a success story.
In that case.
In that case, I know there's other cases still coming up, but that's good to know. So if you have any questions, they can contact you, or else take a look at what he's saying right here because he actually did it. And we've got several videos out online, audio. You having some conversations with the Office of the Attorney General that were very enlightening.
Yes, I would like to once again state for the record that I am not an absent parent.
Right. That was very, very, very troubling when they said, well, our system refers to the non-custodial parent as being the absent parent. That was troubling. It was offensive. It was insulting.
And they wouldn't correct it. They refused, and they're like, our system can't do it.
Yeah, and that's, I don't know how many millions of dollars they paid for that system, but that was completely, that should have every parent upset because, as you said, the only reason I'm not with my son is because a judge ordered me out of his life. And like other people have talked about, the state of Texas is mandating by their terminology, if a non-custodial parent is, quote, an absent parent, the state of Texas is mandating absent parents.
Exactly. And I believe some people said at the legislature, Texas believes that children only need one parent.
Right. And that's not true at all.
It's not true. Children need their mom, they
Yeah.
need their dad,
Yeah.
they need both their parents, and ideally both of those parents stay together. That's
Right.
the best situation for those
Right.
kids.
Right. Right.
If not, those kids need to be going back and forth between both parents. They need to be equally with them. That's the
Right.
next best.
Yeah.
Not the best.
Yeah.
Next best.
Yeah. 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 Or a nesting arrangement even.
Oh man. Oh
I mean, look,
man.
that's inconvenient for the parents, but
But
the
it's
reality,
convenient for the child.
right? And what people have said is that children's shoulders are not broad enough to bear the load in many instances that's being imposed upon them.
No.
And I'm sorry, but in some instances that might be the very best thing if the parents are not together. So anyway, but what else do you want to say about this whole process? Because obviously you've just gone through it, and it was a pleasure to watch what was going on.
No, I think that everybody needs to get out there and do this. Let the Office of the Attorney General know.
Okay.
We do not tolerate their antics, and it needs to be completed.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Anything else, or is that it?
No, that's I think that's good.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thanks so much, Taran.
Yep. Have a nice evening, Jeff.
Thank you.